So who cares? And the answer is probably not you. But anyway, yeah. What we're saying is we've got two key concepts here that matter, and they matter for different reasons. Yeah. Let's take marginal cost. Who cares? Why do we care about marginal cost? What we said about marginal cost is we care because it shows whether making an extra unit is worthwhile. So we said, suppose you're selling for a price of 10 quid. That's my price. That's my marginal cost. We said that the value of marginal cost is we know that we don't want to go past that point. We don't want to go past 100 units because after these units up to 100, these all add to profit. Yeah, because price is above. Yeah, the price is above. Yeah, one thing worth bearing in mind this year, which I probably said before, is that we're very often looking vertically here. Whereas last year we tended to look horizontally, looking at quantities. Very often here we're interested in the financial numbers here. So, for example, take that unit. It sells for 10 quid. Its extra cost is 2. Yeah, that's why it's worth making. After that point, these units would all reduce profit, and therefore we don't want to make them. So we do want to make those, we don't want to make those. But what we don't know is whether the firm's actually made a profit. I mean, it's all very well saying that, I've sold 100 units for 10 quid, and that the marginal costs each, and that the marginal costs of each of those units are below the price. But if I tell you, you've made this one for £1, this one for 80p and so on, what we don't know is we don't know about the firm's fixed costs. We can see that, okay, fine. It sold each pen for more than it cost us to actually make the pen, but we don't know about the fixed costs. And that's why we also need average cost. We need to know overall, on average, when we take into account all of the variable costs and all of the fixed costs, is that price actually high enough? Is that price high enough, for the firm to be able to make a profit overall? And we don't know, because, we don't know from this because, it could be that, it could be this is a pen making business and its fixed costs are £1 billion, in which case its average cost is going to be up there somewhere, up at the ceiling, and it can never make a profit, or it might be that it could. So what we would need to know is once we've chosen the profit maximizing output, we want to make 100 units. What we then need to know is the firm actually making a profit or not? And for that, we're going to need our average cost curve. If average cost looks like that, then we'd now say, well, okay, at 100 units, the price is 10 quid. I'm going to make this a bit sharper, actually. Sorry. The price is 10 quid. My average cost is 9 quid. Therefore, this business has made a profit of 100 quid because it's made a profit of £1 per unit times 100 units. That's profit. Suppose, on the other hand, suppose that wasn't true. Suppose, on the other hand, average cost was much higher. That this was a business that had loads of fixed costs. And suppose instead the average cost, was right up here. When the firm does the best it can and tries to produce 100 units, it makes all the ones that add more to revenue than they do to cost, and that sounds good. But its problem is that once we take into account its average costs, it's paying £13 a unit on average. And therefore, each unit it makes, on average, it loses £3. So therefore, this firm would be making a loss of £3 per unit times 100 units. So each of these concepts, the two concepts, is useful. Marginal costs shows whether or not making an extra unit is worthwhile. It shows how many units the firm should make. But average cost is also useful because it shows whether the price that the firm receives, whether the price charged by the business is high enough to make a profit. because unless price is at least equal to your average cost, in other words, in English, yeah, if the pens on average cost you £1 to make, you better sell them for at least £1 to the customer. If you're not doing that, then you're going to make a loss. And that's why each of those two concepts is important.